A couple of, a few years, about 4 or 5 years ago, I came out of my house on a rainy day, a semi-cloudy day, and an aeroplane was going past. And I looked up and I could see the beautiful blue sky about 1 meter wide on each side of the aeroplane. And I said, so this is the reason why we are not getting adequate rainfalls and balanced rainfalls, because the aeroplanes are mucking up the formation of the rain clouds by their direct, immediate and strong emission and turbulence. With the rain, it falls down, runs into the little creeks, into the rivers and into the sea, and in the meantime it evaporates and then it gets mixed with natural smoke. One of the interesting things is that since we are not allowed to burn our tree leaves and our garden clippings, I believe that contributes too, because natural clean smoke as a part of the formation, it contributes to the formation of the rain clouds. So in the 2004 election, I stood on this issue, and I put a couple of ads in the papers, and you should have heard the worried, I believe that was the only said first name, a gentleman, really nice gentleman, said, "Oh, Mr. Raskovy, where did you get this nonsense?" And I told him, and he says, "Oh, look, you shouldn't have believed what you have seen, but you should ask the Monash University Environmental Science Department." So this time, I wrote a letter to the professor, and he didn't even bother acknowledging my letter. And, well, the scientists, according to my observation, and I've been reading the papers and etc. for years, they are, because there is too much money in it, you see, they are only talking politically and commercially correct rhetoric.
The scientists.
Of the scientists, yeah. Absolutely. I even got a copy of a letter in the papers yesterday. They can't predict the weather from one day to the next. How could they predict it 20, 30, 50 years in advance? It's ridiculous. I think they should give away this politically and commercially correct nonsense or rhetoric, and they should do something about it practically.
So the government shouldn't be doing what it's doing?
No,
trying to
no, totally disagree with it. In its current form. Yeah. I mean, there are some elements in it that could be used positively, but I can't see how they're going to achieve anything. Mm-hmm. And interesting that in my paper I make a comment that unless the government does something serious and now, in 5 or 10 years' time, it could be that we won't be here. Mm-hmm. And interestingly, a few days ago I read it in the newspaper that it could be sooner, it could be in 2012.
So what do you think about, the government has a policy at the moment to have more renewable energy, so solar power and wind power, and they want to put a target of having 20% of our energy from those renewable sources. Yes, what do you think about that?
Well, being a former electrician, I have reservations about that being sufficient, because both of them, you see, the solar energy only comes when there is sunshine. And and the what's the other one again?
Wind.
The wind. Well, it only produces electricity when there is a windy day. So what are we going to do on the days when it's not windy and not windy? Or there is no sunshine. So it's I've got reservations about it. I think that they should make more advantage of chemical energy. Now they can make so powerful batteries. I can't see why can't they make batteries to drive cars. Can you imagine how much emission would be reduced if they would make electric cars. But of course, you see, the problem is that we used to have the international oil companies and then international car manufacturers, and now we even got the international road builders. You see, because I petitioned the Victorian government to build the Scoresby Freeway, and they did build it, because I collected over 7,000 signatures, and they were scared that they get put out of government. And so, you know, they should, in my opinion, they should use chemical energy. I've got reservations about the brown coal being a culprit. Because if it was made out of wood, and wood smoke, it contributes to the formation of rain clouds, I have a feeling that a brown coal smoke is not detrimental to the formation of rain clouds. But you know, there's a lot of emphasis is put on it to distract it from the main culprits, which is the cars and the buses and the aeroplanes. See, I don't know that, you know, because I'm, again, in this case, I'm not a scientist, and I don't know enough about it. For goodness sake. Yes, but at home first. Yeah. When everything is all right at home, then we have a look at ourselves, and not just because they see, Kevin Rudd wants to get into the Committee of the United Nations, so he wants to butter himself up everywhere with every country because he wants to get enough votes. You know, I'm sorry, you know, I'm not in favour